Tak, tak. Live from Drzonków, this is Modern Pentathlon Under 24 Junior European Championships. My name is Wojciech Nowakowski and I will commentate for you the laser run event, the final event of today's women's individual competition. We will have two series, two heats of the laser run. In the first one we will see athletes classified from place 15 to 27th after three first events, which are swimming, fencing and horse riding. And the first on the start line, Katarzyna Ligenza from Poland, who will start with number 15. We can see her here on the start line. She will start with a handicap of 38 seconds after the signal given by the starter, as it is by the rules they need to compose the times from this heat to the actual leader. We have two leaders for now, Ukrainian Anastasia Chyzhova and British Georgia Hannam, but they will start in the second heat, and except for Ligenza in the first heat we will see Rita Erdős from Hungary, the Youth A European champion from this year from Kaunas, and her preceder, last year's European champion under 19 in modern pentathlon, Anna Jurt, who is also the Youth Olympian from Buenos Aires from last year. Then we'll have another Swiss, Anna Jurt's teammate Lea Egloff. Then British Olivia Green, Ukrainian Jana Polishchuk, who is also Youth Olympian but from Nanjing from 2013. Then Turkish Sesim Alpugan, Hungarian Nora Kaloj-Shimoka, another Youth Olympian from Buenos Aires, Agnieszka Wysokińska from Poland, host countries and host clubs representative. Then Emma Whitaker, and the last three athletes so far, Belarusian Katerina Sukora, Turkish Sidal Aslan and Lithuanian Madeja Gineitite. All these three athletes will start after 2 minutes from the signal. Now we have the signal and we need to wait 38 seconds for the start of Katarzyna Ligenza for her first shooting. We will have 4 running loops of 800 meters. Each loop consists of 5 laps of 160 meters here at the indoor hall. This hall was used also for fencing earlier on today. And now it's reconstructed for this laser run. And at the beginning of every running loop we'll have a shooting, 5 targets to be hit by the athlete. We can see now Ligenza starting and going to the shooting range, and right behind her Rita Erdős and Anna Jurt. The Swiss is known for a very good shooting, and she may try to repeat the achievement of Aurelia Tamasauskaitė when 2 years ago the Lithuanian also started in the first series, in the first heat, and managed to get a bronze medal at the end. Jurt, Erdős and Ligenza are starting for the first running loop, and the Swiss is definitely faster. Erdős in second and Ligenza losing, having gap bigger to the leading 2 athletes, finishing their first 160-meter running lap. The athletes need to watch out here at the corner. You can see on the left side, because they cannot go for the internal loop for the range. They need to go outside and inside only for the shooting. And right now we can see Jurt and Erdős finishing their second lap, and we have 2 minutes after the start. 3 last athletes, Sukora, Aslan and Gineitite, they are now shooting. And so far Jurt ahead of Erdős. They are now in the third of the 5 laps from the first part of this laser run event. You can see that Yurt increased her gap over Erdush, and and she's definitely running to get the best time she can to try to improve her position from 17th. She's taking after swimming, fencing and horse riding, maybe to try to get a medal. We will see that later on with after the second heat. Yurt is finishing her 4th loop, so in the next one she will go to the shooting range as well as Erdush. Right now we can see with number 18 Lea Egloff, the other Swiss. She's not as good runner as Yurt, and now we can see the Swiss finishing her last corner of this lap. She is now crossing the finish line and coming to the shooting range for her second shooting, where she needs to clear 5 targets as fast as possible, the best under 50 seconds. And she has 1 target met, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and she's out of the shooting range, while Rita Erdush has only 1 target met. And we can see in the 5th range is Olivia Green from Great Britain, and she is coming right together with Rita Erdush, and she's going up to 2nd place in this heat, but the Hungarian seems to be better runner. She almost overtook the Brit at the straight, and now we can see other athletes coming here to the range. Olivia Green managed to defend her 2nd position in this heat, and she's taking a bigger gap over Rita Erdush, while Anna Yurt is much faster than them, and maybe she will manage to lap them soon. Right now on the screen we can see Katarzyna Ligenza, who started 3rd, and in a while she will be lapped by Anna Yurt, so definitely the Swiss is making a very good run again. It's not the first time we can see her doing a great laser run. Anna Yurt is, as I mentioned earlier, last year's Youth A European champion, so in modern tetrathlon, which is pentathlon without horse riding, the competition held for the youth athletes under 19 years. And she also started at the Youth Olympic Games, where she finished in 9th position in the individual competition, and she was 7th in the mixed relay, where she was paired with British Toby Price. And we can see her lapping more and more athletes. Nora Kalloi Shimoka, with a great family background, daughter of Beata Shimoka and Akosh Kalloi, great pentathletes, world champions. We can see the host countries and host clubs representative Katarzyna Ligenza leading this field, running behind Anna Yurt. And now we can see the Swiss going to the shooting range. So she's starting the 3rd shooting series, and she has already 2 of 2, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and she's off for the 3rd running lap, 800 meters. And right now Olivia Green coming to the range. She has 1 target, 2 target hit, 3. Now a miss for the Brit, 4th met, and 5, while Rita Erdush, who came in third position, just started her shooting. She has now 4 targets hit and waiting for the 5th green light, but missing. And she's off the range with the 5 targets hit. And now at the range we have Ligenza and Lea Egloff. So Pole and Swiss fighting for the 4th place in this very heat. And Ligenza is off the range with 5 targets hit, while just now Lea Egloff hit her 5th target of the 3rd shooting series. And Anna Yurt is already on her finishing her 160-meter lap, going to the further distance. Now another athletes coming to the range. We can see in the 6th standing this is Jana Poliszczuk, and in 7th Sesim Alpogan. They now left the shooting range. We have a host country's representative, Agnieszka Wysokińska, leaving now. We can see her, the youth Olympian from Buenos Aires from last year, 20th place in the individual competition, and bad luck in the mixed relay when she was drawn to German Pelle Uibel, who unfortunately got ill, and thus Wysokińska and Uibel didn't start in the mixed relay. She could cheer for her boyfriend Kamil Kasperczak then, who was paired with Spanish Laura Heredia, and with whom he won a bronze medal. We will see Kamil tomorrow during the men's competition. And right now, coming back to the women's event, we have athletes going for the corner on the short straight right behind on the opposite side of the hall than the shooting range. We can see now the leader Anna Yurt lapping next athletes. With number 26 is Turkish Sidal Aslan, and with 20 Jana Poliszczuk, and Anna Yurt is now on the shooting range for her last shooting series. 1-2 hit, now a miss, 3, 4, and 5, and she's only 800 meters to go to the finish line of this first hit of today's laser run, final event of the women's individual competition at the Under-24 Junior European Championships. And now in the second place, Olivia Green with 4 targets hit, and the 5th one, she's off the range with a big advantage gained over Rita Erdush, this year's modern tetrathlon, so Youth A European champion from Kaunas. Erdush now shooting with 1 target so far hit, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So Erdush leaves the range in the 3rd position. And now at the range we can see Katarzyna Ligenza, who is missing her targets, and in the 4th place Lea Egloff, so the 2nd from the Swiss athletes starting here in Drzonków. Ligenza with 3 targets hit. Not a good shooting from her in this very last shooting series, but she's already off the range in 5th position and going 800 meters to the finish line. She has a little bit of loss to Egloff, who is just ahead of her, while Anna Yurt is coming closer to her teammate, going to lap her. Right now on the screen we can see Katarzyna Ligenza, the best Polish athlete of this heat, but in the second heat we will see another 2 athletes from the local club of Drzonków, Julia Dąbrowska and Natalia Dominiak. Natalia Dominiak, the title winner 2 years ago, also here in Drzonków. Now we can see Anna Yurt coming for their next lap. We can see Wysokińska and Poliszczuk. So two youth Olympians with 4 years gap. Poliszczuk, she's year 97. Wysokińska, 3 years younger. She participated at the Youth Olympics last year. Poliszczuk was in Nanjing in 2014. Now Anna Yurt finished. She checked her time, and this will be crucial for the after the second heat for the final classification. 2 years ago, when Dominiak won, third place was taken by Aurelia Tamasauskaite. We will also see her here in the second series. Tamasauskaite also started in the first heat, and she managed to get such a good time. She went up to the third place overall. So athlete who finished in fourth place, in third place in the better heat of that race, didn't get an individual medal. Now the camera shows us the finish of Katarzyna Ligenza coming to the finish line. No, she has one more lap, sorry. Rita Erdős is finishing now in a third position, also behind Olivia Green, the British. In fourth place in this heat we have Lea Egloff from Switzerland. And now we're waiting for the fifth athlete of this heat, which should be Katarzyna Ligenza from Poland. And she's coming right here at the finish straight, the final corner, coming to the finish line. As you can see, the finish line is built between the fencing pieces, which were used earlier on today. Sesim Alpugam in the sixth place here. Those pieces, in fact, only 2 of the pieces needed to be deconstructed, and they will be reconstructed again for tomorrow's fencing. You can see next athletes finishing their course: Nora Kaloi Shimoka. And now we can see Agnieszka Wysokińska from Poland. She is behind Sidal Aslan, but it's not the way I think. Wysokińska will be surely ahead of Aslan. The Turkish got eliminated at the riding event, and she started only 2 minutes behind the leader, so the provisional leader after the starter signal. But we will need to add 3 minutes and 55 seconds to her time to make the classification as it should be. And we have finished the first heat of this event. So far we are waiting for the athletes to take their guns from the shooting range, and we will wait for the second heat with the top 14 athletes after first 3 events of today's competition, and we will tune in about 7 p.m. Central European time. So thank you for your attention so far, and see you soon.
Nie możemy doczekać się tej finałowej drugiej serii biegu połączonego ze strzelaniem. Już za kilka minut rozpoczyna rozgrzewkę. Zawodniczki rozpoczną przygotowania do tej bezpośredniej walki o miejsce na podium o godzinie 18:30, a punktualnie o godzinie 19:00 rozpoczniemy rywalizację.
Szobából is ilyen ott volt, látszik.
Attention competitors, the shooting range is open, the shooting range is open. 3 sekundy handicap'u straty do tej dwójki. To jest zawodniczka reprezentująca barwy Litwy, Elżbieta Adamajtyk. Następnie 5 sekund Diana Kolajewa, Białoruś, Aurelia Tomasałowska, Litwa i 12 sekund dla tej zawodniczki. To jest miejsce 5. Na miejscu 6 aktualnie Kacjanina Ecina, Białoruś 16 sekund i taki sam wynik notuje Turczynka Impact Akcji, która jest na miejscu 7. 8 Brytyjka Charlotte Lase, która ma 17 sekund straty, po 21 sekund notują Julia Dąbrowska, Polska i Irina Wojczyk z Ukrainy. 24 sekundy handicapu, miejsce 11. Wiktoria Ostrowska, Białoruś. Następnie po 29 sekund Węgierka Luza Barta i Ukrainka Irina Kurak. Na miejscu 14 natalia Ruliak z 30-sekundową stratą. Tak jak mówiliśmy, 3 konkurencje już za zawodniczkami. Na pływaniu dziś najlepsza okazała się Kacjanina Ecina, która zanotowała czas 2 minut 11 sekund i 31 sekund. Czerwiece miejsce pierwsze z wynikiem 18 zwycięstw i tylko 8 porażek, 252 punkty na Elżbieta Adamajtyk. Litwa, druga zawodniczka tej konkurencji to Aurelia Tomasałowska, która zainkasowała 250 punktów czerwiece. No i jazda konna, więc poprzednia konkurencja poprzedzająca Lase Run. Tutaj najlepsza okazała się Nora i Szymoka z Węgier, 300 punktów. Świetna jest na niej wykonaniu, ale ta zawodniczka, jak wiemy, w pozostałych konkurencjach, a więc zarówno w czerwiece, jak i w pływaniu nie spisała się najlepiej, a więc ona startowała w tej pierwszej serii biegu połączonego ze strzelaniem. Ladies and gentlemen, on the couple of minutes left to start final bit of Lase Run event during the final European Championships under 24 Drzonków 2019. This is the first time in the history of modern pentathlon where we have opportunity to watch competition in this category, the category of under 24. In the global last final bit of Lase Run event with participation of 14 athletes. On the first position so far are 2 athletes representing Ukraine, Anastasia Kryzhova and Georgia Hanna from Great Britain. Third place so far and 3 seconds of handicap for Elżbieta Adamajtyk from Lithuania. Fourth place Violeta Kurajeva, Belarus. This is 5 seconds of handicap. 12 seconds for representing Lithuania, Aurelia Tomasałowska, who is on a 5th position at the moment. 6th place Katarzyna Ecina, Belarus, 16 seconds. The same result for representing Turkey, Impact Akcji. A position representing Great Britain, Charlotte Lase, 17 seconds of handicap. 21 seconds of handicap for Polish athlete Julia Dąbrowska and Irina Wojczyk from Ukraine. 11th place with 24 seconds of handicap for Wiktoria Ostrowska from Belarus and 29 seconds for Luza Barta, Hungary, Irina Kurak, Ukraine. 14th place so far representing Poland, Natalia Dominiak with 30 seconds of handicap. There are already 3 events behind us. In advance, in the first event in the swimming, the best result was 2 minutes 11 seconds for 31 for representing Belarus, Kacjanina Ecina. In the fencing, the best result was 18 victories and 8 defeats, 252 points for Elżbieta Adamajtyk, Lithuania. The best rider during today's competition was representing Hungary, Nora Szymoka, and she had really great riding today. She got 300 points during this event. We cannot wait to see the final event and to find out who will get the champion title tonight. 10 seconds left, 10 minutes left to finish warm-up, 10 minutes left to finish warm-up. 10 minut do zakończenia rozgrzewki, a więc za 13 minut rozpoczynamy najważniejszą konkurencję dzisiejszych zmagań. Oczywiście nie możemy doczekać się startu tych zawodów po pierwsze, ale przede wszystkim nie możemy doczekać się momentu, w którym dowiemy się, która z zawodniczek zgarnie dziś tytuł mistrzyni Europy w kategorii do lat 23. 5 minutes left to finish warm up. Attention for Daniels. 5 minutes left to finish warm up.
The modern pentathlon under 24 junior European championships with the final hit of the laser run, and together as the leaders Anastasia Chyzhova and Georgia Hamann, Ukrainian and British, are starting together, and just 3 seconds behind them Elżbieta Adomaitytė, Lithuanian, and just 5 seconds behind the leaders Violeta Chureyeva from Belarus, and they're starting the shooting. And the first target hit by Chyzhova, but very good shooting by Adomaitytė. 3 shots by the Lithuanian, 4 and 5, and Lithuanian Adomaitytė is starting at the first position her running loop. Then Georgia Hamann and Violeta Chureyeva. And in the next position, Aurelia Tamasauskaitė, so bronze medalist from 2 years ago, from here, from Drzonków, at this event, under 24 Junior European Championships. Both Lithuanians are youth Olympians. Tamasauskaitė was 4th in 2014 in Nanjing, while Adomaitytė started last year in Buenos Aires when she finished 13th in the individual competition. Now the athletes are already on their second running loop of 160 meters. After 800 meters of running, they will shoot again. And we can see with number 13, Irina Kubriak, the athletes are lapping each other as the course is quite short here. You can see Adomaitytė and Tamasauskaitė, her achievement 2 years ago when she finished 3rd after starting in the second series, in the first series of the second half of the field after swimming, fencing and ride was something impossible. Maybe this time Anna Jut will do something similar. We will see. Right now coming to the corner is Luca Barto, this year's senior medalist in women's relay with Kamila Reiti. She was 2nd at her home World Championships in Budapest and 3rd in Bath at the European Championships. She is also this year's Junior European Championships under 22 bronze medalist, and she finished 4th at this competition under 24 European Championships last year, but this time she's starting from the 12th place with 29 seconds of loss to the leaders after 3 events. Here we can see the 2 leaders for now, Lithuanians Adomaitytė and Tamasauskaitė. They are 6 years. There's 6 years of difference between them. Tamasauskaitė is one of the oldest athletes here. It's her last year at this junior category of under 24 years. The second one is Turkish İpek Aksin, who we can see here with start number 7, while Adomaitytė is 2002, so she's 6 years younger. It's her first year as youth A athlete, and they're coming to the shooting range together, and it's Tamasauskaitė who hits the first target. But we can see 3rd, 4th and 5th by Tamasauskaitė, while Adomaitytė has only 3 shots and Tamasauskaitė is on her way. And right now Adomaitytė, but right behind her Katerina Itsina, Belarusian, and then no, sorry, it was Violeta Chureyeva. Now Itsina is behind her. So 2 Lithuanians, 2 Belarusians at the top of the field right now. Itsina is another youth Olympian. She's a bronze medalist of last year's Youth A European Championships right here in Drzonków, not at this running course indoor, but at the usual outdoor course. And we can see them running here, and at the very moment Itsina overtook her teammate Chureyeva coming up to the third position. And as we can see right now at the corner, it's Georgia Hannam with not a very good running. She will be lapped in a while by the leader, Aurelia Tamasauskaite. And here we can see Adomaityte was running just a while ago in the second position, and in third we're looking for those two Belarusians. We can see another running lap finished by Tamasauskaite, and now we have Adomaityte closing, and the two Belarusians just behind them. It's Yetsina who is in third, that's the number 6, and with bib 11 it's Victoria Ostrovskaya, but she is definitely lapped by her teammate and the two Lithuanians. Now we can follow Aurelia Tamasauskaite, the Lithuanian. She has one more lap to go to the shooting range. And here we can see Adomaityte and Yetsina in second and third. So there, and it seems the Belarusian is going to overtake the Lithuanian in a while. Maybe she's saving more strength for the second part of the distance. For the second half we will see the half, and right now Aurelia Tamasauskaite finished first half of this laser run event, and she started her third shooting. It's 3 and miss, now 4 and 5th, so she leaves the range before her rivals are starting shooting. Right now we can see how close they are to each other, Adomaityte and Yetsina, and in the fourth place Kureyeva. And it's Yetsina in the second place. Oh, she fell, she slipped, but she managed to go out as Adomaityte struggled on her last shoot, last hit, and this way two Lithuanians are separated by Katsiarina Yetsina. In the fourth position we have another Belarusian, Kureyeva. Here we can see going for silver Yetsina, and going for bronze it's Adomaityte. There's not so many success for the Lithuanian, but it's also a fight for the team competition, which seems to be very important for Belarusians. Lithuanians do not have a team, as Madeja Gineitytė, the third Lithuanian starting here, the youngest competitor at this event, whose years of birth is 2003, so she's even youth B. She's triathlete right now. She didn't start in riding, so Lithuania doesn't have a team, which has to be composed by 3 athletes. And before the laser run, it was Belarusian team leading just 5 seconds, 5 modern pentathlon points ahead of Ukraine, and 23 ahead of Great Britain, with Poland losing only 21 points to the Brits, to the bronze medal. We will see at the award ceremony when all the results will be counted. How will it go? How will the competition finish? Lithuania, especially Tamasauskaite, is fighting for her second medal. Tamasauskaite was, as I mentioned earlier, third in 2017, finished behind Natalia Demiak and Charolta Szymon, while last year Ieva Serapinaite finished in first place. So at this very moment we might have the second consecutive individual gold for women for Lithuania. Serapinaite is right now a little bit older. She is not already in the under 24 category. And now we can see Tamasauskaite, who is just 1 year younger. It's her final event in this junior, a little bit higher junior category, under 24, and she wants to finish it with the gold medal. And she has a very big chance for that. She has 4 shots hit, and she leaves the range for the last time, far ahead of Ekaterina Itsina. She's just started shooting, and in third place it's still Elżbieta Adomaitytė, who maybe will join for 1-2. No, it doesn't seem so. Ekaterina Itsina leaves the range in second position. Right now Adomaitytė lives in third. Maybe she will catch up with the Belarusian, but Itsina looks very strong in running today. She left her strengths for the second part of the distance, as we saw her running during the second round of 800 meters. Just behind Adomaitytė, overtook her at the range and is now ahead of her. You can see another athletes running, but they have no chance for a medal. It will be a fight. There won't be a fight for a gold. Aurelia Tamasauskaite will surely win. We can see her in a while as she will go for the straight. We can see her head right now running down the screen. And in the next position we can see Itsina right now at the corner. 2 left athletes, Belarusian and Pole, and Adomaitytė in third place. Or another left athletes, it's Ipek Aksin, it's Anastasia Chyzhova, who lost her leading position before, which she held tied with Georgia Hanem ahead of this laser run event. Now we can see Itsina and Adomaitytė. The gap seems to be quite safe for the Belarusian, with Dominiak and Kureva separating them here at the course. And here we can see Aurelia Tamasauskaite. One more lap, just 160, maybe now even a little less for Tamasauskaite to come for the finish. We don't see Itsina right now Itsina is in second place, and Adomaitytė, this gap is quite sure, and Aurelia Tamasauskaite on the finish line for the gold medal, finishing her junior career with an individual gold medal, the second consecutive gold for Lithuania in individual event at this competition after last year's win of Ieva Serapinaitė. And now, second position, it's Ekaterina Itsina, her first big success in this age category, and bronze medal for Elżbieta Adomaitytė. But I think we might wait for it. I said it's bronze for Adomaitytė, but we need to wait for the final result, for the official results, because Anna Jurt had a very strong running of 12 minutes and 20 seconds. 12 minutes and 12 seconds, sorry. And as far as I see on the clock, it would mean she might even finish second, not even third, but second, ahead of Itsina and ahead of Adomaitytė. So we need to wait for the official result. This second hit finished with the victory of Aurelia Tamasauskaite. That's for sure. The gold is for her. But we need to wait for the official results to get to know the second and the third place. If it will be Anna Jurt who will get the silver or the bronze, or maybe she will leave Drzonków without an individual medal at this competition. We can see another athletes finishing their course. It's Julia Dąbrowska from Poland. She has 160 meters more to go, while Irina Kubrak, the Ukrainian, is finishing now her event. And here we have Georgia Hannam. Very much time lost here at Laser Run, starting at the first place, in fact in second, but tied with Anastasia Chyzhova, but falling down very much. And now Julia Dąbrowska finishing the competition. It's the last athlete who finished, so right now we wait for the referees giving the final results. We can see them at the finish line, comparing the results from the stop clocks with the Laser Run director, and the results will be worked by the computer, and we will see if the order we had at the finish line, or Anna Yurt, who won the first heat, where the second half of the competition started. We will see if she managed to get to the podium, maybe even the second place. So thank you for now, and we invite you for the awards ceremony in a while. Thank you very much for your attention.
Don't walk away, because we will try to arrange awarding ceremony as soon as possible. Attention competitors and the coaches, attention all of the athletes and the coaches. The athlete from Ukraine